Welcome to ERL League Racing tonight. We have got, obviously, uh, racing for you tonight. Um, and I'm joined by co-commentator Iron Kid. How are you doing tonight?
All good. Nice to be back on the brand new season, on season 3 of ERL. And of course, I'm going to be a commentator tomorrow as well. So it's going to be interesting. 2 days on comms, I think.
Just want to quickly make sure the stream is actually live. Quickly. Live. Can you see the stream up? Yes, we are. Cool. Good, good,
Yeah,
good.
yeah.
Just want to make sure. Last night, obviously, had a bit of streaming difficulties, so I didn't want that to happen again. So, obviously, you drove here last night. You did yourself. You finished P2. How did your race go last night, and what tips could you give to our drivers, our 20 hopefuls tonight?
I think, in my opinion, after racing many times in Bahrain in 2023, I think the best strategy is to start with hards because hards are not good after 12 and 13 laps. So I think my strategy is start with hards, then pray for a safety car around lap 13, 14 maybe, then go to mediums and then go all the way to the end. I think that's the best thing you can do, and it's the best strategy. It's gonna make you quick in the end. It's gonna make you rapid if you keep it clean.
Yeah, indeed. Um, so, nonetheless, Owen, or not Owen, it's Damac, is the first driver out on the track and is going to be setting then the first lap time of this pre-season in Tier 2. Any Tier 2 news that you want to talk about, obviously, for the upcoming season? Is there any sort of I suppose, exciting things that we can look forward to this season, do you think?
Yeah, the first and I think the most main one is that out of the three tires we have, tire two, it's gonna be a cross-play platform. So I think many people can see that we have a cross-platform tier. It's gonna be, I think, good because many leagues didn't have any problems with cross-platform. I mean, they have minor ones, but I think overall it's good. So yeah, the main one is we have a cross-platform league. So if anyone is hearing the stream and wants to jump in because he has a PC or Xbox or anything else, he can join the league. And yeah,
So certainly
to the
more accessible for those drivers that obviously couldn't join because it was obviously all PlayStation before, which is obviously, as you say, very good to see. Then the league progress in that way. As Damac then progresses on his lap into turn 10. Obviously, any exciting tracks you're looking forward to this season in general?
yeah, they're main. I think everyone's very happy with this year's calendar. So we started with Australia when we have the returning of Japan around 3. We actually ended with China with full qualifying. We have Kota, we have Imola, Silverstone, we have plenty of interesting circuits to race this season. It's gonna be, I think all the calendar is very good. Matter.
Yeah. So the Mac starts things off with a 29.7. That's a very good first effort from him. Can't really remember your lap time from last night, but that's a good effort. Tier 1 was actually first lap, I think, a 29.7, so that's a good effort from Dematnix. A second at the moment behind, as Owen is now about to cross the time Bean literally now and does a lap 2 seconds, 2.8 off the times if I'm going to get up the lap time. So it does 32.5. There we go. That's a little bit better. Mikey has just begun a lap, but we've got Pringles here on a lap now. Sorry if I get any names a bit wrong, because there is a few new names to the league, as Redubury, I presume. Not really sure how you pronounce that one. Goes top, but Pringles, pretty sure this is Pringles, goes into 8th then. As then Vigo down the hill in turn towards turn 8 at the hairpin of turn 8. Then we'll head back up the hill through turn 9 and takes more of the Kimi Raikkonen line, then into 10 and opens up the DRS. Pretty nicely done by Vigo. And Vigo, what I remember, was actually one of the better drivers later on into the season, if I remember rightly, from last year. Tier 2, or it might have been Tier 3 actually.
Tier 3, he was very fast.
Yeah. So obviously been promoted, and obviously this is going to be his first lap time in Tier 2, and pretty sure he'll be quick, hopefully, in Tier 2. Then, as he comes up to the line now and does a 29.6, so that's a very decent lap time and effort from the AlphaTauri driver of Vigo. So next driver on a lap would have been Costa, but appears he's had a bit of a moment and appears to have backed off on this occasion. Probably going to be doing a recharge and then going for it once more. Are you watching anyone who's on a lap and out there improving at the moment, or not really?
No, not really. I think I was trying to be on an out lap. The last guy's done great. Tilfik have always cost us, I think, just pitted. I think he aborted the lap.
Yeah. Obviously, the current guys who are obviously on an out lap are, well, offset now in this qualifying session, so they probably only have 2 runs in it, sort of thing. So Lewis, I think, will be one of the first drivers who will be starting his lap now in this second group, then effectively here, and into turn 1, takes a nice line through there. A bit long maybe in second gear, but gets it up into third and 6th eventually. Heading now towards turn 4, takes a nice line through turn 4, and on the exit, not going too wide, so still got a bit of track left. There's a 28.8 for first sector. That's not too bad. Down the hill towards then turn 8, and back up it again towards turn 9. Heading now towards turn 10. And a little bit of a tyre squealing, so not sure if he's running any ABS. Probably not, based on that. So that's pretty nice to see.
I don't think he's running.
So then up the hill through turns 11, keeps the car flat through 12 and 13. Then towards 14. This corner, pretty much similar to turn 10, can be quite a tricky one to get right, as you, well, can sometimes struggle to get the car and the front end turn into the corner. Into turn 15, then through the final corner of 16 and up to the line then towards the DRS, and I think that's going to be pole. It is the new provisional pole time by Lewis, and he's done a 29.3, so that's a very good benchmark by him for everyone to go and chase then. So obviously now we will see if anyone else can maybe join him in the 29s. Next is AlphaTauri, then the Ferrari driver, and does a 29.4, so very good effort from AlphaTauri to do a 29.4. And then Tiffy.
I have a important message to say that we are starting the lobby.
We restarting, or?
Yeah.
So we're doing a restart.
People will say why, and And why that happened? The reason is that, first of all, people actually started without the permission. That should never happen. And second of all, a, a driver joined without being in it, which he wasn't supposed to be in it.
Oh, okay. No
And
worries.
because he take a strong place, and I think they said Luigi take the place by accident, but then everyone already up, so yeah, we didn't have time to react and make him leave from the lobby, so we started like this. Though we actually got the okay to restart the lobby.
No worries. So, obviously, if you are in the lobby, then please kindly retire or quit and just wait for invites to be sent back out. And obviously, next time, do not ready up until given the green. That'd be obviously helpful, I suppose.
Yeah, we'll make the lobby again. It's gonna take a little bit, I think.
Yep.
Invite through, yeah, it's gonna be mental. Let me invite you first, because most of the times I invite you last, so I'm gonna invite you first. Think you got one.
Thank you for that. That's appreciated.
Now let's start to invite people. I remember are in the race.
So we're just waiting on a couple more drivers, I take it, to join, and then soon as Iron Kid says that we can get going, once again, remember, do not ready up until then. If you're watching the stream, that'd be just helpful, as we need to make sure everyone is in the lobby and no one who shouldn't be here, obviously, can't obviously then race or whatever. Sound as a pound.
Yeah, I mean, people should pay attention to, of course, the Discord. When you get a message, you don't ready up by yourself, because all this happened because we got an because people just ready up when I didn't message them. So even if we're getting a little bit late, doesn't mean you can't start, because we passed like the 5 minute. We give most of the time we give like a 5 minute time to everyone
Hmm.
to join. But obviously we have a problem with a driver that was already in. So yeah, we're trying to do it anyway.
Indeed.
So who is on the Alfa Romeo? Who is the one who is missing? I think it's Timotheus. Yeah, Timotheus. So think missing anyone? Uh, missing one. Okay, then I think. Yeah, I think we're ready. So
Sound. So everyone, I think this time can then ready up. Sure you're already gonna tell them anyway. So then we can get qualifying back underway, and obviously we are doing a full reset as the league race didn't really begin properly, and we had obviously the issue. So nonetheless, should be still good, and gives anyway the drivers, I suppose, a second opportunity to get things sorted and improve upon what they were doing out there anyway already before. So that's obviously going to be good for some people, at least. So, yep, should be a good qualifying then, hopefully now, as everything is all ready.
Yeah, and I think the poll will be closer now that Luis G is on the lobby, because Luis was he's a very fast driver of the league. So him not being on the lobby, maybe the gap is really close to the rest of the field, not like
Yeah,
2 or 3 times like he set up the bar too high before.
fair enough then. So, nonetheless, obviously, so we'll just have to wait until everyone gets back out there and starts doing the laps. Then, I suppose, as the time
Mine is
has started.
glitched, I think.
I am not sure.
Is anyone out yet? I don't think so.
On
No,
my
now it's
one,
now it's
no.
good. Now it's good. It was saying uh, people joining still, and my was a little bit laggy. Now we're good. Thank God. I didn't want to invite again.
Yeah, that would have been extra stressful. um, but yeah, I think we're definitely good now because, well, one of the McLarens have left the garage, which is good, and seeing more activity than down the pit lane, which is obviously a good sign. So, just a small, I don't even know if you call that a glitch. Let's just call it delay. There, bit of a delay from the game. So, Pringles is then out first here in qualifying for the second time, and he, well, will start his lap then around Bahrain. Then, suppose if I go on board with one driver, you want to go on board with, I suppose, the next car and
Yeah.
do it like that, I suppose. Yeah. So start obviously the lap off with Pringles, who is now entering turn 10, warming up his tyres, his fronts, his rears, getting them all into nice, well, hopefully temperature window ranges. And to be fair, actually, one question I do want to ask: what is the tyre temperature window on this game?
The normal one or the one you're going already? What do you mean? You mean
The
the normal
normal,
one?
yeah, just ideal, the best ideal
I
temperature.
think the ideal is around 90, 95, I think. I think so.
95.
Well,
Cool.
I'm never on this tire temperature though. I'm
What
usually
tyre
on the
temperature
100,
you?
100 or
Right,
102.
even in qualifying. Only because, honestly, I'm terrible in qualifying. Don't know if you've ever known. Hence I wanted to ask. But yeah, hopefully he's got them then. Pringles inside the normal tyre range. And we're in the ideal temperature range for this qualifying lap. As he heads up then the hill. Into turn 4 then. And about to do the first sector time of the day. Yep, some telemetry and sort of stuff. And 29.2, so not too bad of a sector time from the first sector. As then heads up the hill towards then turn then number 8, or no, sorry, 9 into 10, a bit deep through 10 unfortunately, and that's gonna allow the Williams behind to get a bit closer then, and them two Williams going to be quite close in proximity to one another, of Demac and Pringles. By the time this lap ends, the only thing for Demac that's going to allow Demac a good slipstream down the back straight, and therefore set a potentially even quicker lap than by his standards, I suppose, if he can get that Williams on to pole. But nonetheless, Pringles then entering the final corner here on his run. And this is going to be the benchmark time. Everyone's going to have to come and chase. And it's a 31, immediately beaten by Damac with a 29-3. So Damac has really raised the bar then there with a 29-3. Almost doing, well, did the same time as what Lewis did, really, then on his one. But to be fair, Damac did have probably quite a bit of slipstream. And not really sure it helps around Bahrain, but probably it does, to be fair, as the times now
It does help,
all
but
coming in.
yeah, I mean, DMAC was in a lot dirtier as well in the sector 2 or sector 3 before
Yeah.
on the main straights. He was on the dirtier, so he can definitely improve, but by the time he gets in the straights, in the two straights, he's gonna be slower.
Yeah, indeed. To be fair, like, there is a lot of time in Sector 1 and Sector 2, to be fair. Like, Sector 2 especially, because that's really where all the heavy braking zones are. Because, well, I don't know if well, I'm sure you do know, but Martin Brundle used to say quite a few years ago, he always explained it, you spend more time in the slow speed corners than you do in the fast speed corners, of course. So it's more critical, the slow speed corners, and that's really Sector 2 is where all the slow speed corners are really at. So for Mikey, he's actually done a decent lap time of a 29.3.
It's faster than yesterday. I think the best time yesterday was 1:29.4, the ball time. So we are already down on the time from Paul yesterday.
So Tier 2 becoming the new Tier 1, effectively then here, with these pole times.
We go backwards though. Tier 1 is supposed to be the slower division. Tier 2 the fastest, and the Tier 3 the fastest.
Yeah. Still, I don't really know how to pronounce that name. Sturmus? Or Store? Stu?
Who, the Williams one?
Yeah.
Just I think Storm. Storm.
Yeah.
Storm.
Storm. So Storm goes P6 then. Nix is started a lap. As Drury is going to then begin his lap. Then here. And ERP driver. Well, do you want to commentate a lap around if you want?
ERP driver, yes, of course. So, got a Ferrari ahead of him. Was maybe be careful with the dirtier as well. Nailing the curb on. Don't really remember the corners as well because I don't remember the track so much, but I'm gonna figure it out. The Ferrari goes out of the way. He's heading to turn 9 and 10. Have a nice hitting the apex right there. Great exit. Opening the DRS. Doing I think a decent lap right now. Right the curb to turn 11. Keeping the power down to turn 12 and 13. He has the two fastest sectors for now. So let's see what heat time's going to do. Nice with the apex, doesn't touch nowhere, and on the final straight and puts a 1:29.9. I think it's a very, very decent lap.
Yeah, that was a decent lap by him to go P4, which I'm sure he'll be satisfied with. Right, the Ferrari of Ralph Fatari is beginning, I think, his second push overall. And obviously, I think he was the Ferrari that got out of the way pretty nicely at turn 8. To be fair, I don't think any of the corners have names, so needn't worry about that. unlike some of the corners in Mexico or, you know, other circuits around the world. But nonetheless, Ralph quite like his actual username, to be fair.
Yeah, it's pretty good, I think.
Yeah.
Very catchy.
Yep, it is.
He should be in the AlphaTauri, though.
Yeah, wrong car. In fact, you know what? We should just stop the session now, stop the count, and restart the session for him in the AlphaTauri.
No, just do it for next week. I'm not doing it the invite again.
Still, he's improving by his lap time by 0.2 of a second at the moment, just shy of that, 1.88 tenths of a second then. And going a bit offline and seems to have backed out, so not really sure why Raffatari's backed out then here, but I think obviously he's gonna then come back into pit lane and go again then on that. So be then now on board with Costa, currently a second just off pole at the moment, just under. Only 1,000 splitting himself and Vigo, so very, very close between them two. And the Williams isn't too far behind, but unfortunately, he's lost it. Yeah, lost out the exit of turn 6, or I think that's 6 or 7. And that's a bit unfortunate for him. It is a tricky corner, actually, to be fair, to get right, because you want to carry the speed, but you know, you don't want to drift out too far wide on the exit there, otherwise you lose time, and obviously you turn the car too sharply, like I think what Costa did, and yeah, easily spun.
By the time, if you touch the curb and the car lies like in the middle of the curb, I think it's game over. You're either gonna lose the time or you're gonna lose the car. Nothing between.
Yeah, no, agreed.
Cavallo's with the time as well, with 1:30.1, put him ahead of on P5, so that's a very good time from Cavallos as well. We know he's a clean, fast driver as well, so I think he might be happy with his overall position right now.
Yeah, it's actually really, really close between 5th and 9th. Only, just over a tenth, about 1.1 tenth and 20 thousandths of a second, splitting 5th and 9th at the moment, which is super close actually. So it's going to be fine margins that will decide where some of these drivers end up. Then, as Limited Danny comes into pit lane, then
he's improving by 6/10.
Yeah, I presume you're on about Piano Jam. He's about to come to the line now, and that's a 1:30. Then that puts him up into 5th.
And Vigo puts him on pole.
That's a very good
pole for Vigo.
1:92. So we go now even quicker than what we've had before, and you have to assume Mikey still probably can go quicker, who's actually on a lap then, and he's improved by 19 thousandths in the first sector. So this is now the middle sector, but is he actually on a lap? Seems that I think maybe have backed out actually. So yeah, probably made a mistake somewhere, but still will have time to go again if he wants to even give up this set and go for a new set. So Owen is then 19th at the moment in the other Alpine car, who his teammate is up at the moment inside the top 5. He's improving by 0.3 of a second as heads downhill into turn then 10, opens up the DRS. Obviously right now would need about only 0.3 to be ahead of West, who currently is in 18th overall, but obviously probably wants to improve by even more, and is up now by half a second on his delta, so this would be a decent effort and a decent positional gain potentially from then Owen, who's in the Alpine car and is about to come across the line now to end his qualifying run, and that's 6/10 of the improvement goes P17 and into the 130s for this qualifying session as Pringles. Well, actually, West is about to come to the line and he's on an improvement of a lap up by 2/10, almost 3/10 then to his name, and that's a 131. Doesn't improve positionally, but does improve lap time wise. Is Elka improving? Indeed, he is.
Improving as well. So on the final corner, I think he's improving almost 2/10 from his previous time. Let's see what he can do. On the, and he does improve by 2/10, but still he's P4. He's 2/10 from pole.
Yeah.
And less than a tenth from P3.
It's not a bad lap from AlphaTauri, but that probably will be his final lap to him and to his name. So, yeah, I don't think we'll see any further improvements from him. Drury is on a lap now, who is then just started, and he's currently about 7/10 down on the pole time, so would need a solid improvement to be in contention. I suppose for him it'll be just about getting a bit closer to AlphaTauri, who obviously would be a decent lap time for him with a 1:29.4. So that's where he's looking to move up to then in all of this, and currently obviously did improve in that first sector by 1.5 tenths, so not a bad improvement. Takes it right down to the white line in terms of the line he's running then here, and properly taking a esports line there pretty much. Maybe he'll be delivering a esports lap time if he can do that, and is up by 7/10. My oh my.
He's close to pole.
Yeah, that is right in contention. So, how is he going to do in this final sector? Only would need 0.5 tenth improvement, really. This should be good enough to go provisional pole for Dury, who's going to go then to the line, and it's a 29.3. Lost a little bit of time.
He lost a tenth.
Yeah.
At least in the final corner.
So, unfortunately, couldn't improve in that final corner, but does go P3. Still a very, very good effort by the Alpine driver, who takes then P3 then. So AlphaTauri, I think, has actually charged up his battery pack to go again, so we'll keep our eyes peeled on him. We won't keep an eye on his lap time as he develops across this lap. See if he can get maybe a better time out of it on the second attempt. However, Costa is up by right now by a tenth of a second, so obviously he is about a second down, but obviously, not probably trying to improve to the pole, but I think he's lost a bit of time in this middle sector, pretty sure. I don't think this is going to be improvement for Costa, unfortunately, who probably down by a bit too much, and yeah, doesn't appear to be improving either. So AlphaTauri is then the next driver to come across the line.
56,000 of a second, not a lot. Let's see, sector 2 improving by a tenth. Not much. He's not up there. He needs a pretty good sector 3, a pretty good last corner to be up there on maybe top 4 potentially. The final corner right now. He gets 129.3.
So it goes back ahead of the Alpine. Mikey isn't improving. Let's see if Vigo is improving. So Vigo's actually just started his lap. So we'll stay on board. If you want to watch maybe Vigo, I'll stay on board with Mikey. And you can let me know if Vigo is improving or not. So Mikey
improving by 2
up the hill. So 2
by 2
Mikey. Only 18 thousandths then for Mikey in the middle sector, so this probably isn't going to be enough. Would need a absolute monstrous final sector for Mikey. Otherwise, this probably will ensure the Ego on pole position as he's going to come across the line now. Does have a bit of a slipstream from the Alfa Romeo and goes into P3, improving by 40 thousandths. Yeah, exactly same time. Obviously, D-Max set that lap time first, hence he is probably going to be ahead therefore in the qualifying. And back to then the Ego, who is absolutely improving by a further 2 tenths still up on his best lap time. So this could be in the 128s then for
sure.
pole, and this is going to be an absolute flyer class of the field then in this qualifying session, and takes pole with a 28.9 and, well, 4 tenths actually, 4 or 5 tenths clear of Damac. And that is a absolute banging or banger lap time ultimately. Is there anyone else who can improve? We've got Elka who is on a lap, but not on a fast lap. Owen is also not on a fast lap. So there we go then. That is your qualifying for the Bahrain pre-season Grand Prix. And ultimately, any surprises out there for you?
I don't know.
Well, that answered the question, which is good. So, Vigo on pole from Damac, from Mikey, from Ralph Atari and Drury is then in the top 5. So that is then your top 5 of today. Then we got Son in 6th. Then we got Storms in 7th. Then we got Piano Jam 8th. Elka in 9th. Cavolis 10th. And then outside the top 10, we got Cavolis in Cavolis is 10th.
Yeah, Cavolis.
Yeah. Either way, outside the top 10 then, for the second time, got Costa, Nix, Limited Danny, Owen, Tiffle, or Tiffy, Glenn, Wilder, Whitty, then we got West and Pringles rounding at the back of the grid then for today. But yeah, 4 tenths then separating Vigo and Damac. That is probably the big headline, I suppose. But it's actually really, really close if you go back from Damac down to 5th. Only, well, 20,000 separating.
Yeah.
That is a really, really good lap time, or good set. And then it is actually pretty close then further back as well, despite then the other lads having about 4 tenths on everyone else. But it is only pre-season, and it is obviously Bahrain, but we'll have to see how then the race develops.
Just like yesterday, P1 to P almost P13, P12 was in a second. The grid was more closer, and a lot of the time the grid yesterday was on a DRS train. Only the people in front, like the top 4, was kinda faster after pretty much at the end of the race. But yeah, I think the grid was much closer yesterday than he is today. But you never know what's going to happen in a race.
Yeah, no, it was actually really, really close yesterday, the race. As you say, it was pretty much a DRS train. I take it formation lap is off, so
Yeah, he's off.
that's obviously ensures we have no bugs, which I suppose is good. And we're about to then go racing then in Bahrain, and it is go, go, go. And someone's got to drive through already, which is, well, not the ideal start to a pre-season race, but could be worse, I suppose. At least it's only pre-season. And are we going to get through turn 1 cleanly? A bit of contact at the back between a few cars, but other than that, it does seem like everyone has got a front wing still on that car.
We have an accident behind.
Yep, who's it between? Looks like it between Nix and Whitney.
Bajuri with blood tablet. Blood. Yeah. I mean, Charlie said during Tier 3. So since Charlie's picked, I mean,
Yeah.
bottle it.
And Wilder has lost a bit of front wing in plate, which unfortunately he's gone into the barrier at turn 8. Now we are seeing a few go 3x3 there. Not sure that's going to work out in the long run. So who's going to give up the position? I think Tiffy's had to back out, or is it Ekla? I think it's actually he's backed out. So it's quite wild at the back actually, at least, as we see then Nick's Pringles and Nick's Eka go side by side, and then we've got the McLaren and Whitty up the inside of the Aston Martin of Glenn. So pretty much all going on at the back here. But we'll go back to the leader, who's then got half a second gap as we come across the line on lap 1, and Mikey is trying to chase down the AlphaTauri. Is Mikey going to go for it? He is going to go for it, and he's got the move done into turn 1. Quite the lunge
Not
from
yet.
that far back, but
Ooh, D-Mac out of nowhere. D-Mac
Yeah.
going out of nowhere in the middle.
so we've got 3 of them all into turn 4, and ultimately Vigo remains still in the lead of this Bahraini Grand Prix then, as Damac a bit wide on the exit curb of 7. That's going to affect him because he's now going to be under a bit of pressure by Mikey as we head up the hill and down it into 10 then. So pretty good racing out front by our 4 leaders, and they have got a bit of a gap back to the Ferrari behind of Son, who is being chased down by the Williams driver of Storm and Piano Jam. So Kavolis and Tiffy both fighting out for then 9th and 8th, and I think Tiffy might be about to make a move. Obviously going around the outside at turn 12 into 13 isn't going to be the best place to get that one done, but stays behind for now. So following the Aston Martin of Kavolis, who's a pretty good driver and a pretty quick driver, and been in the league for, I presume, quite some time. Obviously been here ever since I've been here, of what I'm aware. So he's certainly got the pace.
Yeah, I think he joined like 2-3 months ago, or maybe more. But he's here. He's very fast as well.
It must be more, because I've been here ever since I've been here. But yeah, he's very fast and a clean driver most of the time, so, or pretty much all the time. So round the outside, Tiffy's going to try and go for this one on the inside. Kavolis leaves him the space then as they head down the hill, and that's pretty close racing, but obviously Tiffy doesn't have the momentum to carry it around the outside of turn 4, but going to get a bit of a switchback and unfortunately loses a little bit out on the traction, and Kavolis still remains ahead. Going to quickly check what's going up on
Vigo
front.
Spun.
And yeah, it does appear Vigo has spun. So that has given then the race lead to Damac, who's now breached that 1 second gap, and now Ralph Atari will inherit P2 in this race and Son P3. So currently it's Williams, Ferrari, Williams then in the top 4, and Vigo behind then here. And I think Kavolis still firing Tiffy. Yes, he is. So that's then your current top 9. Piano Jam currently in the middle of everyone. We've got a yellow flag out in sector 2.
I think it's Turbo Bleed, which spun.
Yeah. And
we have a information that Kavolis has been here since the start of previous season, so he's here from season 2.
Yeah, and Tiffy got the move done, but who's going to then get on the exit? Now, I'm not sure why neither of them using DRS, because ultimately one of them should have the DRS in theory, but Tiffy wins then that battle, and I'm sure he'll be glad to now see a bit of clean air in front of him. And obviously next up for Tiffy is his teammate Piano Jam, who currently sits P7. So Alfa Romeo now up into 8th and 7th. Obviously then Vigo's now got past the first Williams, obviously Vigo does have, as we know from qualifying, great pace. So obviously for him, despite that spin, obviously the win is not out of the question at the moment, and there's still a long way to go in this race. Plus, we could have obviously safety cars or anything during this race, and we're going to see Duri make up a move on the Red Bull. However, the Red Bull does need to be probably a bit careful, and they almost come together as Duri goes a bit, had a bit of a moment on the exit, and almost the Red Bull driver Vekla went into the back of the Alpine driver. And Kavolis, in fact, going to make that move back up then into turn 1, gets the move done.
Goes wide.
Yeah, that's going to affect Tiffy's exit out of then 2 up the hill into 3, and won't be close enough now to get the pass or the repass done into turn 4. So, going to have a quick look then at the tyres, or the tyre situation. So pretty much
softs.
Yeah, everyone on mediums, but Ekla and Rafatari, who are on softs. Now, softs is a very bold strategy, I think, to go for. I'm not sure if you'd agree with that, because effectively they're committed surely to then a soft hard strategy.
Or they're gambling for a safety car in the first part of the race. So, if you have a brand new softs, I mean, you can go to soft tire, then wait for a safety car, maybe around lap 7, lap 8, like in 2-3 laps from now, and then you can go to hards and then go all the way to the end. Like the tires will be dead. But AlphaTauri is struggling, like I saw from last one, almost lost it a little bit. So I think he's already struggling with the tires with his teammates. Very close to him right now.
Yeah. I think you're right about the struggling, because, as you say, his teammate is literally right up his gear box. And I think it's only a matter of win and not if Son comes past then in this race. The only thing, I do think it is a bit of a long shot to prey on a safety car, I suppose. The only other thing, I suppose, as well, is he running light on fuel, because if we don't get a safety car, that could also become a bit of a cropper at the end of the race, if that's his strategy, as you rightly pointed out. So, up the hill, then we go then, into turn 15.
I think AlphaTauri needs to let his teammate pass, because Medium's starting to get right up there, and Vigo's maybe looking for the move. So I think the best decision for the Ferrari is to let Hod 2 go first, and then AlphaTauri maybe beating on the laps next lap, maybe. That's gonna be the best strategy. And does Hod getting past, and Vigo doing almost hitting to the back of the Ferrari there. But yeah, I think that's the best strategy, because the softs are now pretty much dead, and the mediums are getting to the heat. So Hod needs to get up there with DMAC, fight for the win, and not let Vigo get up there as well. So the Ferrari can actually start playing together and let people not be behind them. So it's going to be interesting one. They're already forming a wall, as you can see.
I don't think I was forming a wall. I think I was trying to send it on his teammate, to be fair. But I do agree with you. Like, Rafatari should probably, if Rafatari, obviously is smart in this situation, I think he doesn't really want to be fighting his teammate, and should really be letting Son go, because whilst they are fighting, kind of a bit like you actually yesterday, in a sense, whilst the two drivers were fighting behind you, it allowed you to bridge out that gap, of course, and you did have about a 4-second gap when you came into pit, which obviously then got kind of hurt by the fact you kind of got caught in the traffic.
And Vigo's going for a move as well. For double move, whoa, look at the speed, Jesus.
Yeah, Vigo absolutely. Someone must have put rocket fuel into his car on that lap because he absolutely
a mistake from Raffatari as well.
Yeah, and those softs have probably absolutely been cooked now at this stage. They are 8 laps old in this race. Anyway, we're going to try and watch a bit of racing down the field. Still Kavolis and Tiffy fighting then, as we got Elka getting past the McLaren of Limited Danny for P15. I think we're going to see Limited Danny get back past then the Red Bull of Eckler, who is now up into 15th. So not a bad running for the two McLarens, I suppose, in 14th and 15th. Got another yellow flag out there. Still no indication or signs of a safety car, obviously. Right now, for AlphaTauri, this would be the perfect timing for a safety car, as he's still fighting his teammate then for this P3.
Go for the move.
Yep, still going for it, and I think it done the wise thing just to hang a little bit back there from AlphaTauri this time around. The only thing is, I suppose, for AlphaTauri, if you can see his teammate isn't massively faster, then I suppose, I'm not saying fighting is the right option, but I suppose you've got to fight then in that situation, so long you keep it clean between the two teammates, as they almost come a little bit together. And that's the first rule of racing: do not hit your teammate, ultimately, and certainly don't want to have a collision between these two. And anyway, Mikey is P5, doing a good job right now, ahead of Storms. Storms actually doing a really good job, actually, in this race, in P6, ahead of Piano Jam. And Piano Jam, obviously, is another driver who's been here quite the while, so a bit more of a seasoned veteran now, ultimately. And obviously he's running in 7th, so doing a decent job out there himself, as always. As Tiffy then, is he one of the newer drivers in the league?
Yeah, pretty much most of the half of the grid is brand new members. I mean, they were on the league, but they didn't race because we didn't have a crossplay on. So yeah, pretty much everyone is a new guy.
I suppose what is good, considering that a lot of these drivers haven't fought each other potentially on track, at least, they're showing that they can race cleanly, which I think is the most important thing and factor, if you know what I mean.
Yeah, I mean, it's debatable, I think, because it's like you said, we don't know the other guy, so we don't know the limit of him as well. I think the first time I did a league race, well, not on this leg, of course, because I knew most of the people. Wait, what? What? You see that?
What on earth has happened?
Everyone's got... What the... What?
So...
I never left the lobby. I'm in the lobby. Wait, what?
Well, there we go then. This is your podium, which it's obviously not, but... Yeah.
Oh, Jesus. Everyone got disqualified, I think.
What on earth?
I saw on the stream it says migrating host, but I never left.
Well, that, is, apparently I'm now... Somehow I've become the host of a session that I haven't... What the... Rightio. I suppose we're going to be starting a new session.
Yeah, but you see what? Oh man, not again inviting people. Okay, let's go. Can you remember what lab we were?
Let me have a quick check. I think we were like 11 or 12, so we're pretty much halfway through,
Charlie
just
said
under.
10 of 29, so it's gonna be a 25% raise or
Yeah, I think
25%. Yeah,
that's
25% really.
right. Um,
And now the hard part of this is that I need to get everyone back in and then get the grid ready.
I'm gonna have to also restart the lobby, unfortunately. Not the lobby, the stream, because it's not letting me join, so I'm gonna have to quit the game.
Yes.
Fantastic, EA. Anyway, I'll be back in a moment.